What's up? My name is Caroline of Habitsinprogress.com, and in this video I'll share with you my bulletproof 9-to-5 exit strategy that will allow you to quit your job and start your dream business within 12 months or less. I'm currently about 8 months into this strategy, which means I handed in my resignation letter about 2 months ago, but because I have a 6 months notice period at my current job, I have to work for another 4 months until that year-long strategy is over and I finally get to travel full-time while running my business. So as you can see, this strategy is tested and proven, and it will work great for millennials, people around like in their late 20s or early 30s that don't have children and would love to travel and have their dream business on the side. However, if you're a family or if people are dependent on you, or if maybe you love the comfort of getting a paycheck, things like that, then this strategy might not be perfect for you. So just a little word of caution. And make sure to stick around till the end, because I'll also share a free gift that I have for you that will make implementing this strategy even easier. Plus, I'll also share how I made my first 5K in my first month of launching my business. So stay tuned. Number 1, figure out what your vision looks like. Alright, we need to start with the mindset, as we do so often, because it's so important. If you just quit cold turkey and have no clue what else to do, that can be really risky. It can work out fine if you're really flexible, but this is not part of this strategy. This strategy is to only take calculated risks and make it as bulletproof as it can get. So, in order to do that, you need to take out some time, block off a few hours in your day, on your weekend, take out your journal and just dream big. Allow yourself to dream big. Think about what your wildest dreams are. Think about where you want to be in a few years from now. What kind of lifestyle do you want to have? What kind of life do you want to live? What are your wildest dreams and visions? Think about all of that and write it down. This is really important because, for one, it will be your guideline. It will show you where you have to go. If you know what your vision is, it's like your North Star that will show you the direction. But another important point is that your vision, your dream life, will pull you out of a rut if you get stuck somewhere. So I've experienced that time and time again. Whenever I get stuck somewhere and I get really frustrated because things are not working my way, I always get automatically pulled towards my vision. I just envision what kind of life I want to live. I want to live a life of freedom. I want to be able to travel as much as I want. I want to have an income as high as I want. And I want to have the ability to outsource things, all of that. So I think about that vision, and that automatically pulls me out of that rut and gets me into motion again. So this is what you need. You need to have a really strong vision, a really strong dream, and that will pull you towards like a magnet. Number 2, set specific goals for 5 years and 1 year from now. Now, if you've allowed yourself to dream really big, which is absolutely awesome, it can sometimes feel almost intangible. This is why I highly recommend also setting 5 year and 1 year goals. First, sit down and think about what you want to achieve in 5 years from now. Think about all the goals, all the steps you want to achieve in that time frame. Then go on to your 1 year goal. Again, write everything down you want to achieve within 1 year from now. But this time, imagine that it already is 1 year from now. So you write everything down in present tense as if you'd already achieved it, and then think about how you achieved those goals, those steps. How you've gotten where you are right now, like 1 year into the future. If you do that thoroughly, you'll actually create your own roadmap. You'll create your own steps, your own monthly goals that will become really clear. It will become a very clear step-by-step process, and you will show yourself where you need to go. As soon as I've started implementing this strategy, I actually even exceeded my monthly goals, which is absolutely awesome. Oh, and part of this 1 year goal should also be that you'd like to quit your job, because this is part of this strategy. You want to quit your job in 12 months from now. Number 3, set a time for when you're going to quit. Alright, so now you know where you want to go. Now it's time to set yourself a deadline, because otherwise chances are you'll keep finding excuses why you can't do it after all. So don't fall into that trap. Set yourself a deadline, ideally put it into your calendar, and then tell as many people as possible. This will give you some public accountability because people will keep asking you about it, if you're actually going to do it or what's your plan and things like that. And this will help you justify your own deadline and find ways to make it work. And this is actually exactly what I've done. So I've thought about wanting to go full-time in my business. I think it was in summer 2020, July or August. I decided, okay, I'll give myself 1 year and then it just has to work because I can't work in corporate any longer than that. That was my deadline. And so I started telling people, okay, I'm gonna give myself 1 year. In summer 2021, I'll quit, I'll be done with that job. And so exactly that public accountability happened. So every time I met a friend, this friend would ask me about my plan or about how it was going and if I was really going to do it. And so this just became a stronger like thought in my head, and I couldn't put it away anymore. It was so clear that I would do it that way. So this is why I've handed in my resignation about 2 months ago, even though I'm not like 100% sure that I'll immediately replace my income, which is totally fine because we'll get to how you can deal with that without going broke. So I'll get to that in a minute. Number 4, create a savings plan to have a cushion of at least 6 months. So this is another very important step of this strategy. So while this strategy is laid out to create a business that will replace your income within about 12 months, you want to have a safety net because you never know what's going to happen. What I like to do is to have like a couple of backup plans, and one of that is to have this cushion of 6 months savings. So what I recommend is, or what I did in my case as well, is to put $1,000 per month aside for 12 months. So in the end, I have about 12K on the side in my savings account. And so in Switzerland, it wouldn't be enough to live off of that. So this is where I live, and it's a really expensive country. Where you're from, this might be totally fine to live off of it. But the really cool thing is, if I'm going backpacking, this is more than enough money. Like 2K per month is more than enough money. So my plan is actually, once I'm done working in my day job, my partner and I are gonna go backpacking for at least 6 months. This has been a long dream of ours. And if this is your dream as well, this strategy will work perfectly for you. So we have that savings backup plan that we don't want to touch, or that I don't want to touch, but it's there in case like everything else goes wrong. And I'm telling you this now because it's important to plan ahead. Most of you probably can't just, or don't just have like 10 or 20K on the side. So this is why you need to have this time, like this few months time, where you can put up a savings plan and put 1K or maybe even 2K, however much you can do, put that on the side and then have that safety net. Number 5, reduce your workload if possible. Now, this is gold if you can do it. So I've actually already started with an 80% workload when I started my job as an in-house lawyer, and this is absolutely amazing. The extra time you'll get will help you build your business so much faster, and it will already create a little bit of freedom where you can spend the time however you like. So if you can do that, if you can go down to 80% workload and still have enough time to put 1K aside each month, then absolutely go for it. But don't worry, this strategy will also work if you keep working full-time and if this is not an option. So this is just a little extra. Number 6, start building your business. Now let's get to the exciting part. So you obviously don't just want to quit your job to hang around all day. You want to build your business and make this your next success, right? You want to make money with your passion, with something you love. So in my opinion, the best way to get started is to start a coaching business. So this is what I'm doing as well. So to start out as a coach, and then later you can package your knowledge into a course that can be sold on autopilot basically. So in my opinion, this is the ideal business model for anyone who would love to travel, who would love to have time freedom, but also would love to have the connection with other people. Then later on you can decide if you want to keep that or not. And it's also just the easiest to do from anywhere in the world. You really only need your laptop. You don't need to worry about inventory or about any other complicated regulations. So in my opinion, this is just the best and easiest way to get started. And not only for those reasons, but also because you'll get to know your ideal customer inside and out. While coaching people one-on-one, you'll learn everything about them, what they struggle with, how you can help them best, and so on. And then once you have that knowledge, you can package it up in a course and then slowly automate it more and more. And then at some point, your business can run pretty much on autopilot and will require very little hands-on work, which is the ultimate goal, at least for me, because my dream is to have a couple of passive income sources. I'm in the process of building a couple of other ones. So this is the ultimate goal, but in the beginning, you need to know your customer audience. You need to get to know them. And I think the best way to do that is to start out as a coach. The other advantage that I forgot to mention is that you can start charging high ticket right out of the gate, which means you can start making 4 or 5 figures pretty early on in your business, which is also unheard of in other business models. If you'd like to learn more about how you can start your own coaching business, then definitely get my free gift that I'll link in the description down below, which is a much more in-depth version of this 9-to-5 exit strategy so that you can start implementing it right away. And I'll also share in there how I made my first 5K in my first month of launching my business. So don't miss this chance and download it right away. It's linked in the description down below. Number 7, create a running list of things you need to get done. So this point is especially important if you plan on traveling after you quit your job, like I'll do starting this summer. So what I've done is I've created a running list on my phone where I can just write down things that I need to get done whenever I think of them. So I started it a few months ago, and there are things on there like organizing health and accident insurance, getting some room for our stuff, quitting our apartment, and number 8, have a plan B, C, and D. My last tip is to calculate your risk as best as you can. So quitting your job and starting your business or having your business replace your salary from your job is obviously plan A. That's great. But I highly recommend to at least have a plan B, and I've already touched on that, which is to put 1K per month aside for 12 months so that you have 12K in your savings account. So this is money that I really only want to touch if everything else goes wrong. But if you don't want to exaggerate all the calculated risk, then at least have that plan B in place and have this money saved up when you quit your job. But other than that, so my other plans are, for one, I also have an investment portfolio, and I actually don't want to touch that because this will hopefully generate some passive income pretty soon. But if everything goes wrong, then I could still withdraw some money from there. Another backup plan for me is to go traveling for longer than 6 months, because I can easily live off of 2K per month while traveling, while backpacking. And I've come to that conclusion because I've already been backpacking for 6 months back in 2015. And my budget for that trip was 2K per month, and I didn't watch my money at all, so I spent it here and there. So I think you could easily reduce that even more, but with 2K I think you're on the safe side, or I'm on the safe side, and I can travel comfortably, and that's much less than I would need in Switzerland. So if I wanted to replace my current lifestyle, I would need about 6K per month. So just in case I can't make that money for whatever reason, it's highly unlikely, but you never know, then I could still continue traveling for longer and I could live on a smaller budget. Other options for plans D, E, F, whatever, is, for instance, to also ask your parents if you can live with them for a while, or maybe with a friend, or maybe get a cheap camper van, something like that, so that you can live in there. So just think of other options, how you can reduce your cost, or how you can use your cost of living, so that you have a really long stretch of where you can go on a low budget in case something goes wrong and your business can't replace your income within 12 months. Okay, so this is my 9-to-5 exit strategy in 8 steps. As you can see, it's pretty waterproof. If you're gonna follow all these steps, then you'll have at least 1.5 years from now on where you can take your time to build your business. You can quit your job in 1 year from now and you'll still be safe. You have your backup plans. So just follow this recipe and you'll be able to quit your job sooner than you probably think. Now, I'm sure you're still curious how I made those 5K in my first month of launching my business. So if you want to know more about that, I highly recommend getting my free gift that I've linked down below, which is also called the 9-to-5 exit strategy roadmap. So this goes much more in depth on all those steps, but not only that, I'll also share in detail how I've made those first 5K in my business, so you can do the same in yours. So don't miss this opportunity, get your download now and start working. If you like this video, hit the like button down below, share it with your friends and be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!